Hello, my stamping friends. It's Jackie Bolhuis from Klompen Stampers. I've got a really fun project for you today. I'm just gonna call it 2-for-1 cards. We're gonna take a piece of designer series paper, we're gonna cut it using a die, and then we're gonna have 2 pieces to make 2 cards. So 2 cards for 1 piece of designer series paper. It's not a very unique name, but I didn't know what else to call it. So we're gonna make 2 cards, and then I have 10 other cards to share with you. You know, I did 5 and got 10. So it's just kind of a fun design layout that you can use with any papers, any stamps, any dies actually. If you have different types of dies, I'm using the frame dies, the rectangle frame dies, but some of the samples, I use some other ones just to kind of get your head going as to how you can take this design idea and make your own 2-for-1 cards. Now the stamping is going to be super simple because we're going to let the designer series paper do the work. I know you guys have designer series paper that you bought and you're not using it because we all want to hoard it. We're afraid to use it up. Well, I'm going to encourage you to use it. Add a greeting, use this fun idea and make some cards. Now, quickly before we flip the camera down and get started, if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be yours. I would be honored if you would pick me when you go and place a Stampin' Up! Order. I would love to help you any way that I can, answer your questions, and don't forget to join my email list. You can do that over on my website. I send out usually 1 email a week, and in it I always have 2 to 3 free downloadable card making tutorials for you. Keep you updated on what's going on, but the main purpose is to send stamping ideas to you. Those are different than the ones I share here on my in the videos or over on my website. Now, you'll find all of that information on my website, klompenstampers.com, or use the link that's in the video description, and it will take you to the specific blog post that goes with what we're doing today. I will have pictures of the 2 cards I make, along with the list of all the supplies I used and all the cutting details and measurements and all of that stuff so that you can recreate these if you want. But you got to stick around to the end of the video to see all those extra cards. Those won't be in the blog post. You're only going to see them here on the video. Phew, that's a lot of talking. I'm ready to get stamping. How about you? Let's flip the camera down and let's get to work. Quickly, before we dive in, I want to show the paper we're using. It is the Abstract Beauty. Now, this designer series paper is a little bit different because it comes in 4x6 pieces. I don't remember Stampin' Up! Ever doing this. It's always been 12x12 or 6x6. So these are the perfect sizes already to make cards with, and such fun designs. There's some that could be more masculine, some that could be more feminine, and some that are a little bit of everything. So just a very random selection of papers. So the piece that we're going to use is this one right here. And I do have a couple of cards to show you with this one when I'm done making these, because this made a great set of masculine one, 2-for-1 masculine ones, where this one I think would be more for that gal friend of yours. But we're going to do the exact same cards, just different paper. So we are going to start by using those stitched rectangle dies, and I'm going to use the largest one here and put that on the outside. And then after I cut that out, I'm going to run it through again and stick this one on there to cut the inside out. Now you could run them both through at the same time, but I find that sometimes it's a little hard to crank that machine through. So I like to run one, take that off, run the other one. So I'm going to do that and I will be right back. Okay, you will see here, there was the big one. Okay, we cut it out with that, so we have that nice stitched rectangle. And then I stuck this one in the middle and cut out this piece. Now this is where that whole idea of 2-for-1 cards come into play. This is going to make a card, and this is going to make a card. So I think we're going to do the rest of our cutting and our die cutting and have all our parts and pieces ready, and then we'll make our 2 cards. So like I said, I'm just adding a sentiment on here. So I've got the Sunny Sentiments stamp set, one of my favorites for just some nice, big, bold greetings. And we're going to make one of our cards a thank you card. So let's stamp that on our piece of scrap paper here. And then the other one, I'm going to do a happy hello to you. So this can be a card just to send. Ooh, I caught a little edge there. Let's just stamp that again. Oh, that looks better. And because we're going to go ahead and cut these out with dies. So for the thank you, let's see, let's get the right sizes here. We're going to use this one over here on the Happy Hello. And then we're going to use the same one. Got the wrong one sitting here. You know what? Oh, here it is. So many rectangles. We're going to use the same one that we cut this piece out with the thank you. So we'll cut that out like that and that like that. And I will be right back. Okay, like I said, lots of parts and pieces and rectangles everywhere. So let's take both of those, set our scrap aside, set all these rectangle dies aside, and I think we're ready to put our cards together. So I'm going to start with my card base. And I cut a piece of coordinating cardstock, black. I really like this color combination, the crumb cake and the black and white. I think is just great color. And then that pop of gold foil on this paper makes it so pretty. And we're gonna go ahead and just put our frame on that piece of black like so. And then we have crumb cake for our card base. So let's put some adhesive on here and stick that on here. These cards, like you're gonna see, are like super duper simple. Let the designer series paper do the work, and those rectangle dies with that stitching just add a nice little touch on there. And we'll take our pieces here, new sheet of dimensionals, and we're going to take the thank you. And, you know, we can't do a card without dimensionals. We need a little pop going on here. So let's peel those off. And this will be our first card for our 2-for-1 cards. And we are going to stick it right there where it came out, or where that other piece came. So you see the stitching, it fits in that little opening perfectly. And there's our first card. Now for the next one, I've got our pieces ready as well. And I went ahead and I embossed this layer already. I can't remember the name of this embossing folder, but it'll be over on that blog post. Remember, link is down in the video description. And over there, you'll find pictures of these 2 cards I'm making, as well as all of these measurements and the list of supplies. So I just wanted to add a little bit of texture because, you know, we got more of the card base showing because we're only using the little piece of designer series paper. And then before I started recording this, I did cut out another rectangle from black just to get a little bit of black behind that. And then I'm going to use dimensionals and we're going to pop this piece up. So I mean, remember, we're just putting this together at this point. You know, the whole idea was cut that designer series paper and then what can we do with the 2 different pieces? So we'll put that in the center and then we're going to put dimensionals on our Happy Hello piece as well. And we're just going to add that to the center like so. Should we center it? Yeah. There we go. No, it does not get any easier than that for card making. But now you can see where any papers will work for this. Now, because I did use that crumb cake on the, on the outside, we're going to add just a couple layers to the inside. So we have basic white. I think this one's 3 3/4 by 5, my kind of normal inside piece with a layer, and then put that black on it. So this card kind of seems like there's a lot of cardstock, but I think it makes it look really, really almost elegant looking. Rather than just taking that piece of crumb cake, fold in half, pop some stuff on the front. By adding a few layers, it really made a beautiful card that you can love to send to someone, and they will be so excited to get it in the mail from you. So let's add white to our thank you card as well. I actually have a dear friend that was awesome and sent me a meal recently, or brought me a meal out of the blue. And so I think we're going to send this card to her. So let's pop that on there like so. All righty, there we go. There are those 2-for-1 cards. Now I have 10 other ones, actually more than 10, it might be 12. So I want to start by sharing these other ones with you that I made using that black striped, like I told you. There you can see just a different paper, but I designed these exactly the same way. Everything's the same. I changed the words on these two, but you can see how easy that was just to make it more masculine, more feminine. Now, let's pull in some other ones. We're going into full-on show and tell mode here. Okay, this set This was the same paper. This is from that same paper group as that. It's this floral print. And you can see here for my piece in the middle, I cut it with a smaller rectangle so that that could pop up as well. And now rather we get the border on the outside plus around the inside. Just adds a little more dimension. And then over here, I didn't put a piece behind that one. I just set it on there, and then my greeting is a circle. So I will have these cards as well on that blog post. So all the ones made with that designer series paper so that you'll be able to get all the measurements and make these as you want. Now let me show you a couple other ones. So these are cards I actually shared at a Creative 8 retreat several months ago. So these are not going to be on that blog post, so you'll have to look at them good on the video here. But my purpose is to just show you how you can do so many different things. You can see here where I have white underneath for my stamping, and then we popped that piece up, added the butterfly on it. You know, the ideas are absolutely endless with this idea. Remember, it's all about the one piece of designer series paper, cut the center out, and make 2 cards with it. So there's those 2. Now with this one, you can see where I used a different shaped die. This is that hippo die set I believe these are in, but you know, it works perfect. All you need to do is figure out a way to cut out the center somehow, some shape, either a die or a punch, and then use the 2 pieces on 2 different cards, and then just decorate them as much as you want. We made super simple ones today, but you can see here, you can get as fancy as you want with more die cutting and embossing and whatever you'd like to do. Now these 2 are super pretty. I have a lot going on with these. These are a little bit more over the top for me, but you can see all the stamping and die cutting, but there is the 2-for-1 piece of designer series paper. Now I'm going to tease you a little bit with some paper you can't get anymore, but I know a lot of you have this. This is the rainbow paper that was from Celebration during January and February, but right here, this green stripe was my 2-for-1. I used my circle die and I punched out the center, or cut out the center to move it over here. And then I put a piece of this rainbow underneath, so that's coming through the hole. And then I added more circles. So I wanted to show you just as a whole nother option with, you know, we cut the center out and moved it over here. And then I used a bunch of other designer series paper in that one. So that's a little bit different. But I just wanted to get you thinking that even though rectangle dies are what I tend to use the most, and I think works the best for these cards, by any means, use any dies or shapes. You just want to cut the center out of one piece and make 2 cards with it. So I hope you like this card idea. The ideas are actually endless. It's more of a card concept. I can't wait to hear and see what you do as you take this idea and run with it. So if you have any questions at all, make sure to reach out to me. I would love to help you. And don't forget, if you're looking for a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be that person. Leave me a comment, send me a message. I'd love to send you a catalog if you need one. You can find the link to request one over on my website. Again, just follow the link down in the video description. So thanks for watching, guys. I truly appreciate it. I hope you learned something and that you share this video with your crafty friends. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. So we'll be stamping again real soon. Have a stamp happy day.